I'm happy to invite here our next moderator, Ali Madhavji, Managing Partner at Blockchain Founders Fund and Senior Blockchain Fellow at INSEAD Business School.
My name is Ali Madhavji. As mentioned, I'm the Managing Partner at Blockchain Founders Fund and a Senior Blockchain Fellow at INSEAD. We've got 55 companies across 6 continents in the space. I also serve on the board of 2 public companies in the blockchain space. One is Mechanical Technologies, which is a NASDAQ-listed company, and the other is CryptoStar, which is a Toronto Stock Exchange venture company. So, more importantly, we have a phenomenal panel here today. First, I'd like to welcome Bartek Sibiga, co-founder of Fanadise, which works on exclusive content for NFTs with influencers. Next, I'd like to welcome Fraser Gordon, CEO of QuantumWorks, which is pioneering AAA gaming with cryptocurrency. Next, I'd like to welcome Ritam Gupta, founder and CEO of DeFi 11, and previously part of the EMEA Blockchain Lab at Deloitte. And last but not least, I'd like to welcome John Lillywhite, Google Research Associate at the Mohammed bin Rashid School of Government and a graduate from Oxford.
There's 6.
With that?
All right, that wasn't on my list before. But and last, we've got Alex Blagirev, who is the Deputy CEO of Sensorium Corporation.
I'm going to stand here. We're going to have a chair.
We can switch really if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
I can sit on the table, yeah.
I think they've got you covered. All right. So first off, the gaming space has been, incredibly popular over the last decade. We've seen, a major movement from, pay to play to free to play gaming. Now we're hearing all about play to earn gaming. So John, I want to start with you. Can you set the stage for us on play to earn gaming? Perhaps touch on, the size of the gaming economy. Help give us a high level on this.
Hi everyone. So I'm in an interesting position because I'm on a funding sabbatical from Google at a government entity here. And one of the struggles I've had is that if you're based in government and you're talking about gaming as a research project, it's still a little bit new, particularly if you're talking about the metaverse and things like this. But just to give you a sense of how real some of this is and how big the economy is, I thought I'd just quickly read off a couple of very, very recent stats. So financial documents from a lawsuit, an Epic Games lawsuit against Apple, the owner of Fortnite, showed that it made more than $9 billion in revenue between 2018 to 2019. In the first quarter of 2021, people spent nearly 10 billion hours playing Roblox, according to the company's earnings report. More than 42 million users logged in each day, with players spending 652 million on in-game virtual currencies. Roblox to purchase in-game experiences and items for their characters. So I think, as the previous speaker said, that they're not just buying these games, the amount they're spending in the games and how they're operating these new kind of play-to-earn systems is very new, but it's also a massive element of the economy now. Between 2019 to 2020, Roblox revenues has increased by 82%. The company at the time of this research was valued at around 45 billion. So basically, during COVID-19, gaming was always big, but the things these guys are working on has accelerated massively and is worth billions, potentially hundreds of billions of dollars. This isn't just very, very big business. Some of the technologies they're using in blockchain and smart contracts and DAOs will move into other sectors of the economy very soon. So I guess what I'm trying to say from my perspective is that gaming is no longer just one industry. It's an industry that everyone should look at for a sense of the future and a sense of how it will influence other industries going forwards.
Absolutely, and I think you covered a really good overview of sort of gaming in general and sort of how that trend's been taking off. Now, with play to earn, like maybe Bartek, you can touch on what you're seeing in play to earn. What's the current landscape of what's happening on the play to earn side?
Yes, sure. Generally, I see like few trends. So it's not only about gaming, but generally social media are going into gamification. So I don't know, like you probably all know that like Facebook, Instagram, they used to hire guys who was called attention engineers, and they get like all the they took like algorithms from all the slot machines to make social media as well more engaging and to make people like spend their more time and keep their more attention. So this is one trend we see. We use gamification not only in social media but also in HR. And coming from this, there's more and more like gaming coming into the space we are really coming from, because I'm the owner of one of the biggest influencer marketing agency in Central Eastern Europe. As well, I'm co-founder of Fanadise, where we use NFTs to give access, give utility for fans. For example, to get access to private content. So in these terms, I really see like some kind of future of gaming payments turning into NFT. So you have more access NFT, which will allow you to have some, I don't know, premium things, etc. And what's more, what we're also doing, like in terms of metaverse, what we did, we, for example, start scanning influencers. So we believe also future of social media will be like metaverse, and we start doing 3D models of creators. So then we can sell it as a pieces to masses, to the fans, so they can invest in them in the future. Because I believe, like everything, like gaming and social media, this influencer celebrity wall will be connected. So we're also going to be like a bridge by NFT to this space, to this 3D gaming space. Yeah. So definitely, like in my definition of gaming, it's much bigger than just playing games, right? It is something which is, I told you we even did like really big project for the biggest Polish mining company with gamification in HR, which was like really interesting, but it's maybe a topic for the next time.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Bartek. I guess Ritam, you would also invest in companies at DeFi 11 and with sort of your experience in the space. Maybe you can touch on what you're seeing in play to earn gaming right now, just to sort of set the landscape for our audience.
Sure. So I would start by saying that I'm not really a gamer. I started this company called DeFi 11 pretty recently. I would say not even a year. I've been a technical guy throughout my life, almost 8 years of experience in blockchain. Then started technically, moved into consulting, and then started my own companies. That's how my journey has been. But then, I'm not going to talk about anything fancy about gaming, not really telling you numbers or nothing like that. But one thing that I still feel is we have to always stay connected to the fundamentals of blockchain. While we sit on this panel talking about gaming on blockchain, these are the two things that definitely holds a big market share in the entire economy, both blockchain and gaming. And when these two are connected, they combine to form something very big. That's how it is. So coming to Ali's question of like play to earn economy, I would say that's what the need of the future is. 3 years back, I would say no one used to understand what gaming can be in blockchain. It was all fintech and other use cases. There was CryptoKitties that came somewhere in 2017, I guess, that did give a boost to NFTs, but then the entire craze stopped. But now, 2021, at the present day, gaming is the craze, really. And people have started to understand that, yes, we can move forward with gaming and blockchain together. They really have healthy use cases. Blockchain is not only limited to just money or perhaps fintech or perhaps banks. It's more than that. So talking about the fundamentals of it, I would say play to earn model is something that we should be focusing on, and a lot of companies are focusing on. I come across a lot of companies daily while I've been investing in a lot of projects myself as well, and seeing that yes, what gamers usually need is like three things, I would say. First one is transparency. What they are playing, they should be aware of what they actually are playing. Secondly, they need to have an interoperability between different games. If I'm playing one game, I should be able to go and play the second game without spending more or without doing much efforts. And the third thing is play to earn. If I'm playing something, I should be earning back from there, right? So that's something very interesting for a lot of gamers right now. They just simply don't want to play, they want to earn. So creating an economy using blockchain that can pay you back, I think that's the future of blockchain gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm going to give a quick overview on sort of what's going on in play-to-earn gaming, just to make sure everyone's sort of on the same page. So you're seeing games like Axie Infinity, Splinterlands really take off. You may have heard a lot about, Top Shot, which is a little different, sort of on the NFT side though, which has done really, really well as games like So Rare have been very popular in Europe, now sort of also in North America and elsewhere. To give you an idea of the size, you're seeing companies like, Splinterlands, for example, one of the fastest growing games in the space. We're lucky to be sort of their first investor, but we're talking about 450,000 daily active users. You're talking about something along the lines of 15 times more daily active users than companies like OpenSea, or 5 times more than companies like NBA Top Shot. And it's really about sharing in the value with the players of that economic benefit, rather than all of that, say, going to the company that created it. And that sort of creates a lot of synergies and benefits across the entire ecosystem. I want to go to you, Alex, and what are some of the challenges that you're seeing around play-to-earn gaming right now, or the gaming industry sort of in general? And
Thank you for the question. It's very interesting. We're now here while discussing, so at the same time, Epic Games disrupting Apple, in the dispute, yeah. At the same time, Axie disrupting Epic Games. And while Axie disrupting Epic Games, Quantum disrupting Axie. So, Axie been raised, they have 2 million active users, as Alexander Larson mentioned like 2 weeks ago on Token 2049. 2 million active users a daily is super huge amount, super huge. So, and that means the timeline that the play-to-earn games now increase in such a big audience, it's significantly decreased. You don't need any more several years to get audience of several million active users. You can get it in 1 year, and that's absolutely amazing thing. I mean, absolutely. So they get a turnover about $1 billion. So the key challenge is infrastructure for such game developers, of course. A common infrastructure. That's, by the way, why we're launching our NFT-focused blockchain with upgradable NFTs. I'm sorry, that's not advertisement. But the next big thing is to exchange the content between the different games and to share the identity. So what we discussed yesterday with John, that was a big question. If I want to keep the representation of myself in one game and I want to move to another game, like Sandbox, they use a voxel editor. It's a platform. Then guys use Unreal Engine 5, and we use Unreal Engine 4 in our metaverse. The other guys using Unity. I know it's not actually so easy to transfer the assets from one to another. We tried. It's a little bit complicated. The more we move and the more we invent, for example, our avatars can dance. We have a dance moves in the metaverse. And simply we cannot do the same dance moves for the voxel editor avatars from the sandbox. But like Sebastian, the founder of this, he really loved it. The dance move we have, and he was asking like, Alex, can you bring this dance move to sandbox? And that's the biggest question of the congruence of the content between the different multiverses.
Fantastic. No, I think that's really valuable. Seeing some of the challenges of porting assets across, the different platforms. I think that's quite valuable insight. I guess, Fraser, do you see any other specific challenges in play to earn, and why are major corporations not in, say, blockchain gaming or play to earn gaming right now?
Well, I think when we look at play to earn gaming right now, we just look at games that are made by crypto people for crypto people. It's the biggest issue. Like, there are no games companies other than us and maybe one or two other ones who are actually making games for gamers. Gamers don't they don't care about crypto games. They don't, because let's be honest, they suck. Like, the majority of them, they're poor games. They have poor game design, they have poor game flow, they're not designed for gamers. You need to make games that people actually want to play and then seamlessly integrate them into crypto. You don't want to have to give people a barrier to entry of $800 before they can play a game which looks like a Pokemon and a Tamagotchi got together and had a baby. Like, that's the reality of it. And when you look at Axie is being farmed. Like, it's not supposed to be able to be farmed, but you can see videos of thousands of screens set up with people farming Axie because it's designed for one thing. It's designed for people to make money. And that's not a game. That's a way of making money. So what we need to do is we need to have more companies making games for gamers that people actually want to play and enjoy. And then from there, that's when you'll get the biggest transition of gamers coming into crypto, which will give much more value into the space than anything that's currently going on. And like, going on one of the points that you said about value, like, what we want to look at is television, music, and film. Like, everyone knows these three mediums because we've been using them for years. Gaming without crypto is bigger than all three of these combined. Gaming is a huge space, and it's totally underrated. But now we're starting to see more companies, more brands coming into the gaming space to use it as an advertising platform. Look at Fortnite, for example. They were doing gigs with real artists in Fortnite, where these artists are getting paid $22 million for a half-hour performance. Amazing. Like, if you were that artist getting paid that money, fantastic, because you've just made 10 times what you would do doing a concert. So gaming is a massive space. Play to earn is an incredible opportunity for everyone, because what it allows gamers to do is not have a sunk cost. So if you're playing Apex Legends, or you're playing Fortnite, and you're buying V-Bucks, or you're buying Apex coins, when you do that, you've literally just lost $40, $50. Whatever you spent is gone. And that's it. So what this allows people to do is own the items in which they have purchased. And then they can trade them, they can make more money, they can find more items by playing the game. And then say they want to stop playing, they sell it. And they check out and they take that value with them. So it's no longer a sunk cost by doing it this way. And it creates a fairer economy for players. It also does one other really important thing. Games just now have loot boxes, and although the industry is starting to slowly move away from it, it's still a massive thing. And loot boxes are gambling. It doesn't matter how you want to spin it, it is, and that's why some countries have closed down on it. It's a gateway for children to start gambling. And that's one of the reasons that we started doing what we were doing, was because I looked at that and I saw, like, my kids are starting to grow up. My son's 6, and he's starting to play Roblox, and I was like, cool, he's going to start playing Fortnite at some point, unfortunately. But he's going to end up spending money on V-Bucks, and then he's going to end up getting into loot boxes, and that's an avenue for him to start gambling, and I didn't want that. I wanted to create a fairer way for gamers to interact with each other, fairer player economies, and places where people can play to earn in a legitimate space that you can't farm.
And that's fascinating. I think that's very insightful. I think, we heard about, making games for gamers and sort of continuing on that evolution. I think there's been a lot of progress on NFTs and blockchains over the last couple of years with gaming, but you're right, there is a long way to go before we actually get to the point of mainstream games and AAA mainstream games that everybody's playing. Now, I think on the play to earn concept, you mentioned something really interesting, which is actually owning those assets as part of that game. And I know just for the audience, one way that we've sort of looked at it, and I think is an easy way to explain it, is take it in the concept of, say, like real estate, right? So, if you're looking at renting a home, you might spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month. But if you're actually buying a home, you might spend $500,000. And so, you might spend $500,000 because now, well, you own that asset, you can rent that asset, you can do all sorts of other things with that asset. And so in the same context in the gaming space, what we're seeing is traditional games is almost always like that first model where you're renting the home because the company that created it owns all the assets. But in sort of, play to earn, now you have the aspect of being able to actually own that asset, and you might actually pay 5, 10, 15 times more to own it, but now you've got an asset value, and then you can rent that potentially to other players to have utility on that asset, or you can go and sell that asset, in the future. And so it creates a lot of benefits in that way of sharing that value. Now, I want to, move a little bit into some of the stories, some of the things that are actually impacting players now, all around the world. I'm not sure if you've come across stories or sort of main key drivers of, where this has actually made an impact. Are any of you familiar with stories? Do you have a story to share on, how play-to-earn gaming has helped the industry, transformed the industry? Have you talked to players, on other games as you're building yours to really understand sort of their point of views?
I think, from a play-to-earn perspective of what we're seeing just now, we're seeing guilds allowing players access to play Axie to earn money, but in reality what they're doing is kind of like exploiting people who don't have a job, who don't have an income, to sit there and play a game where the majority of these people earn money.
Yeah, there's a famous case study that we looked at. It's slightly old now, but there's a Second Life case study that's famous. Yeah. And it's basically, you have these landlords, you have these builders in Second Life or any metaverse, and they want to make money out of their property, as you were just talking about. So basically, individuals in other economies where, the currency situation is slightly different will squat in virtual reality in these buildings for hours on end, because that puts the value of the physical location up in Second Life. So, as Fraser was saying, you almost have a kind of exploitative, system built in there that actually mirrors the real economy in a really weird way, even though this is happening, in a not decentralized, but online network without national borders. The old system still carried through. So I just thought that was a really interesting case study because it speaks to, the issues around having fun, still enjoying video games at the same time as trying to build an economy out of this.
I think, like literally what you said, the biggest issue is humans, because inherently whatever systems we design, if we design ones that are designed to make people money, it will get exploited even quicker, even faster, in more horrible ways than if we're designing something which ultimately is fun to play and which people actually want to engage with first. Like, that's what you have to do. Like, if you want people to do this and enjoy gaming, build them something they want to play. Like, if you don't do that, then you're missing the whole purpose.
Yeah, I totally agree with Fraser. Like, from our perspective, like when I'm looking into blockchain gaming scene, people focus just on crypto people. So people who already understand it, get MetaMask, and those are like kind of rare people, to be honest. So, for example, we tested it with Fanadise. When we took influencers, and he did his first NFT drop, majority wanted to pay via credit card. So we sold nearly all NFT via credit card, because for normal people, like all this wallet stuff, etc., it's hard. That's why Revolut, for example, did so great that people are buying Bitcoin via Revolut, because you got only 2 buttons, buy and sell. And we got a lot of studies on Generation Z, of those young people. They want to have like really easy UX. And in these terms, like spreading crypto adoption, most of the crypto games, let's call them, are not accessible for like normal people. You need to be in crypto to get into. And I think it is really important to think about future market, and the future market is mass adoption. So that's exactly what we're doing. Like we created our own wallet, which at the beginning is custodial, right? So people can pay with credit card for NFT. He's getting it, and he can claim it in the future. We're gonna educate them. We are preparing like whole platform to educate people, to get them like step by step into this world. And the problem with most of the games we are talking about is you need to be in crypto before to join the game. And second thing is it's mostly like money incentives. So people really come there to earn money, not to have fun, which probably is also a big problem.
Okay, I think this is some really interesting insights, right? And so, you know, with some of the new things that you're seeing come out in this space, I mean, do you see some of the same risks around, you know, potentially people getting exploited, or, you know, investing in assets and owning assets and spending a lot more, and, you know, they could obviously decrease in value a lot?
Well, there is several problems I see in the market. So from this, of course, the bringing fiat currency to the like regular payments, that's very big issue. And of course, the user journey should keep it simple. That's why, like for example, in our store we made this is a crypto processing. One of the guys just be paying by banking card. You don't care about the crypto wallets, and then you got a token, and then you spend the token. So it's like a regular game. But I see like several things is happening on the market. Like first of all, if you see now about NFTs, right? All this stuff. Some of the game stores like make a block of NFTs. Yeah, you seen that a couple of days ago. Some of them like changed their position. For example, Tim Sweeney, he's been evolving from the crypto agnostic to okay, it looks okay, it looks fine for us, and then. I see that there is no single position about NFTs. I mean, people still afraid of them. I mean, the regular game producers. And also, I see that the marketplaces existing for NFT trades, about the content, about creators, they have no curators. And that's one of the big issues, like Rarible, OpenSea. This is a like, fine marketplace, but I mean, it's full of junk. Good artists and good like guys doing the very nice piece of art will not put their stuff there because there is no curating. And that's a big point. I mean, that's why investing into the infrastructure, which allow creators and game producers to run their own auctions for NFT, that's a very important thing. And I think one of the key areas about curating of NFTs will actually reflect the value of NFT. I mean, and we see the NFT as a first generation, like, yeah, it's like NFT. Okay, everyone knows NFT. But example, if I say to you that NFT can upgrade, or NFT can be time limit, so after this NFT you cannot move it to anyone, and do it's kind of a charity things with museums, and you can be the last owner of your own NFT, like it's you will be your representing of yourself, and that's things that NFT is not like last mile that was already evolved, so it's only the first step. So we can still evolve the idea of NFT, and that's I think what is missing on the market. People think about, okay, I need to integrate NFT, but what's next after NFT? People should think about what's next after NFT and research new capabilities, new features, and evolve them. That's what is actually important.
Yeah, the next thing is utility NFT. That's what I personally think.
And collateral NFT and all this stuff. And a big story, NFT can bring a new thing, like imagine ICOs, right? There are problems with bringing finance into the creative industries, IDO, etc. But then comes NFT. What we can do with NFT through all this financial scheme? We can actually improve it. Like this year, guys from Goldman Sachs run a digital bond. Can we do a digital bond collateral with NFT for creative industry?
I don't know, maybe yes, and it could improve the idea of ICO. So I think the key area that's we don't evolve the NFTs further.
Okay, I think that, give it a sec. So I think that we covered sort of quite a few things there in terms of some of the challenges and risks where we're sort of seeing it starting to go. I do want to sort of dive deeper before we wrap up into looking into the future, say 5 years, 10 years out into the future. And we can start with you, Bartek, but share with us your crystal ball. How will the gaming industry change in the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, I would just add one thing to what you said. So, for example, just give you like imagine of opportunities. We are now with a really big brand, so a company like a corporation, which you said corporation are scared of NFT. Like they're not. They're really open to it. So we are doing government NFT, which means they will make like 1,000 people be able to decide about the taste of the next product or about the color of the can. So like opportunities here are endless. And yeah, when we're talking about like both general NFT and metaverse, like first of all, I believe Mark Zuckerberg that like we will all be in metaverse soon. So we will be like all be in kind of a game, living like in virtual reality. And that's the first thing which is really important. So then after this will come all those NFT use cases. Yes, we will first of all own a lot of digital stuff. Like we all get used to buy physical stuff, right? We want to own a car, a house, but when I see what's happening on social media, for example, badge on Instagram, it's worth it a lot, even though it doesn't exist. Like by badge, I mean verification. Yeah, if you get verified accounts, I know people who can pay like $1 million to just get verified. So it is something digital which got a lot of value, even though it doesn't exist. So this will be the main pivot. The really big market is starting right now of digital goods, which will be in metaverse, in gaming. Like in gaming, you already got a lot of stuff which is worth a lot. But in the future, there will be like so many things. They're just digital. They are just in metaverse, which you will own, and there will be so many people prefer to buy Rari in metaverse than in real life. And this I think is the biggest next thing. So there will be like, I guess we cannot even imagine, like all of us here, how big this market gonna be. So like generally digital goods.
1 trillion. 1 trillion.
I think it can be even bigger. I think the next Amazon is coming right now, and it will be born really soon, or it's already born.
Okay, so we just got to keep it quick to wrap up. But John, do you see major risks and challenges with long-term, say, government policies related to gaming, and how does it sort of affect the industry?
I think very quickly it is interesting because there's this economic debate right now on the size of the financial sector and the role of the Fed in the United States. If you're interested in crypto or blockchain, you're probably very aware of this. So there's this idea that we need to shift the economy and make it more about production and more about creating things, right? And on one level, the metaverse is great for that because it's this idea of creator economy, building your own things, being able to invest in property, not having a market that doesn't really make sense. On the other hand, I think once Mark Zuckerberg flicks a switch, or we have 1 billion users in these worlds trading and buying things and interacting every single day, I think longer term what happens is governments and nation states start thinking, whoa, how do we regulate this? How do we tax this? Look how much is being taken out of the physical economy. So I think it's not something game developers might necessarily think of in the short term. But I think once, big tech and some of the blockchain guys really start scaling in this space, it will cascade into a series of economic and cultural and political questions that go well beyond the gaming industry.
Fantastic. And we do have to wrap up, but last 20 seconds. Ritam, what are you most excited about in the space?
I would say, I'll just continue the question that you asked, John, that I don't see any challenge coming across the line in gaming. Specifically in gaming, I would say. The only challenge that I see is an interconnection between the metaverses. We all can have our own metaverse with like hundreds different NFTs and characters over there. But what if we get to have an interconnection between all of these? I recently came across this project, I guess, Arcade Network or something. So these guys were creating a bridge wherein, I mean, if I have an avatar in one of the metaverses, I can easily take that to any of the other metaverse. And I found it so cool. I mean, if everyone is making the product, there should be a bridge that these product can be operated. And I mean, these can be interchangeably used. So really, I would say that's a challenge that I see. But then with the products like Arcade Network coming in, I would say these challenges are pretty fast. And I mean, these are solved pretty fast. And I believe that we have already entered the journey of mass adoption. So definitely gaming can bring that mass adoption that we have been looking out since last 8 to 10 years, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, that's my take on that.
So you heard it there. So gaming is going to be the part of driving mass adoption for the space. Fun fact, gamers are also 11 times more likely to buy cryptocurrency than non-gamers. So it'll also probably have a big impact on the entire sort of crypto and blockchain space. We are out of time, but this was a very insightful discussion. Thank you again from our incredible panel. I can personally say that I've learned a lot. And there's been such amazing and incredible presentations from experts all around the world here at Future Blockchain Summit. And it's been an incredible opportunity to learn from so many experts, including our panel here. And especially, it's nice being live in Dubai. Thank you again to our incredible panel. And if you do have questions, please feel free to come up afterwards and talk to any of our panelists. Thank you.